So, on my last video that I posted about Love Never Dies, I got a really interesting comment that I'm actually really excited about. Somebody asked me if I'd ever thought about reviewing the original Phantom of the Opera show because I'm so passionate about my hate for Love Never Dies that I guess they can see that I really, really love the show and they actually want to hear my opinions about it, which is really, really fun, and I actually never considered doing it, but it sounds like a pretty good idea considering it's my biggest obsession in life. So that will be coming eventually. So I will get started on that soon in my spare time at school. But to start off, I guess, since I'm not going to do it all now, my favorite part, I think, about my love for Phantom is how it started, and I think I'll start with the beginning. That's probably a really good place to start. So, I was pretty young when I first saw Phantom of the Opera, but the probably freakiest, not strangest part of the story, which will make sense eventually, is that I saw it in March March of 2003. And my church group had decided to go see Jesus Christ Superstar, which everyone knows is another Andrew Lloyd Webber show, because it was coming to the local theater, like the tour, and church, we thought that'd be a good show to see. So, we're sitting there, I'm thumbing through the playbill, and I see the ad for the Phantom of the Opera is coming, and, I had never really thought about it or heard about it. I mean, it's just one of those things that everyone knows about, I think, or I must have, because my mom does like musicals, and I don't know, somehow, some way I had heard of it, and I sort of insincerely told my mother that we should go see it for my birthday, and to my surprise and sort of dismay, she did get tickets for it for the next month, and I was like, I wasn't serious, Mom. But, she paid a lot of money for them, and it was a birthday present, so, I was like, whatever. So the day comes where we're supposed to go, and, my sister and I are like, ugh, really? Do we have to go? It seemed like such a waste of a Sunday, like, to be going to see a show I didn't care to see, but, we got all dressed nice and drove down to the theater, which is like half an hour away, and, my life changed forever that day. It's quite sad because it's been so long that I don't actually remember most of the show. I do remember we were sitting, it was row maybe L or P or around that area, and we were like way to the right. We were like the end of the aisle, and I remember a couple things distinctly. I remember when the Phantom does his like voiceovers from the off stage, it comes out of the speakers, like echoey, obviously, and there's like a speaker like right above my sister and my head, and so I remember hearing the Phantom's voice and being like, what the, so that was really cool, because I was like, young. And then I remember, because we were sitting under the balcony, so like, he'd be like up on the stage, and I remember being like, oh, you can see the Phantom up there. And I remember the elephant from Hannibal. That must have stuck in my mind. I remember in Masquerade trying to guess if one of them was the Phantom, because I had no idea about the story and didn't know anything, so I didn't know he was going to appear at the top of the staircase at the end. So I kept thinking, oh my god, is that the Phantom? She's looking scared and stuff. But yeah, I don't really remember much of the first time I saw the show. I do remember the cast, and I still have the souvenir brochure and playbill at home. I don't really remember much, but I do remember it was Brad Little and Rebecca Pitcher and Tim Martin Gleason, who I'm actually really excited about because I'm seeing him this summer as the Phantom in one of the tour's final stops, because it's closing and I'm really depressed about that. So then I listened nonstop to the cassette, and we listened to it all the way home, and Michael Crawford, one of my favorite Phantoms. Sarah Brightman, not so much. I'm not really a fan of her voice. And I just went crazy, and for, years and years I've been I go from moderately obsessed to like crazy obsessed. Like I was in my crazy obsessed phase when I got my tattoo, but I've loved it for so many years that it's like the one thing I could care to engrave permanently on my shoulder. And I got my hands on anything Phantom of the Opera I could. I, you know, read the original book, I read prequels, sequels, fan fictions, rewrites, alternate universe, and I was lucky that the movie came out really it was like a year, almost 2 years after I saw the show, that the movie came out in like December of 2004, and so I got some of my other friends into it. They weren't like quite as obsessed with me, or as me, obsessed. And that kind of renewed my obsession again with the show, and I personally really liked the movie. I know it's not Broadway caliber, and they messed up some of the timeline and messed up some of the costume period pieces, but I still really, really enjoy the movie, and it's one of my favorites. And so, yeah, I introduce people to it all the time. I introduce some of my new friends at college that had never seen Phantom of the Opera, shame on them, to it, and now they all love it. So, yeah, that's about it. That's kind of how it got started, and the crazy thing about the beginning of the story, the playbill story, is that I've recently looked through the playbill of I usually keep all my playbills from the shows I see. I don't know why. But I found the Jesus Christ Superstar one a while ago, and I was flipping through it because I was like, oh, I know the ad that I saw Phantom for was in here, and to this day, I've had people look through it, I've had my sister look through it, I've looked through it 100 times, I've never been able to find the ad that said the Phantom of the Opera playing at Shays. Ever. Again, I have like 3 playbills, so if it was an insert, it was bound to be in one of them. Nothing. It was magic. It was obviously fate that I see the show and fall in love with it. So, yeah, I did actually recently see the show. I took a bus trip to New York City from my college, and got to see the show in December, so I guess that's relatively fresh in my mind, so I will be able to review it, and I could just tell you all the things that I love about Phantom. So, to preface, I guess I could tell you my favorite Phantoms are, I like a lot of them, so I'll just list a couple. I enjoy, John Cudia is who I saw in Broadway. Brad Little was my first, like, stage Phantom, so I'm a big fan of him. I love Michael Crawford, he's just got that Phantom thing down. John Owen Jones is amazing from West End, like, wow. I used to like Ramin Karimloo, but he's kind of fallen out of favor with his Love Never Dies being in, but I won't fault him for that because he's an amazing Phantom. He's just not my favorite person anymore, which is, it's alright, you know. I'm trying to think. Oh, Hugh Panaro, I really enjoy. There's like a huge list, so I won't get into that much. Favorite Christines, I saw Jennifer Hope Wills when I went, which was amazing. There's nothing like seeing it on stage, just if you get a chance to and you haven't yet, it's a necessity. Rebecca Pitcher's alright, her voice is kind of takes a little bit more to get used to. Rachel Barrel's really good. Sarah Lawrence. I actually like a lot of Christine's. I mean, I've seen the show plenty of times, both on stage and through YouTube, so I do have a plethora of people I've listened to. And I don't really have too many that I don't like. Raoul's, I'm not really too particular about them. He's kind of an extra in the show. He doesn't have much to do, and basically if you can sing I'll ask of you, I enjoy it. You know, a lot of my favorite Phantoms started out as Raoul, so I think that's really cool. And that's about it. So, next time you see me, I will actually be talking about something that I adore and reviewing the show. So, thanks for the suggestion.